Hi, boys and girls. Today you're going to work with a new take-home reader, and it's called Life Cycles. Now, I'd like you to listen to me and not be turning the pages on your own take-home reader just yet. If you look up at the screen, you're going to notice that we have a tadpole. Tadpole is a baby frog. Very good. Over here we have a caterpillar. A caterpillar is a baby butterfly. And then here in the nest, what do we have? Eggs. And over here, we have some different kind of eggs. These are what frog eggs look like. Most life cycles of animals start with an egg. Remember what we called them? Oviparous. Oviparous animals begin with an egg. Now I'm going to put this down, and I don't want you looking at yours yet because I want to show you a few things. First of all, with the tadpole, well, look here. Do you remember this guy? Remember Skippy the frog? He was around to teach us about reading, how to skip a word. Well, Skippy's going to teach us something else. Let's pretend that Skippy is Mama Frog. Mama Frog lays eggs. And her eggs, she does not lay in a nest. Nope, she lays them in the water. Maybe a pond where the water isn't moving too much. She lays her eggs, and then you know what? She goes away because baby frogs don't need a mama to take care of them. So Mama Frog goes away, and the eggs are teeny tiny. The picture on the cover here is even bigger than those eggs are. They're all like jelly on the outside, and there's a little black dot on the inside. The black dot is where the tadpole is growing. One day, all of a sudden, a little tadpole will come out of each one of those eggs. They do not look for their mama. They do not need a mama. They have everything they need, and they already know how to do it. They have this big, long tail so that they can move through the water. And when they move through the water, they have this little mouth. But the little mouth can catch just the right amounts of teeny tiny little plants that they eat to start their lives. They also have gills because they take in the oxygen from the water, but they can't come out of the water. So they stay in the water, and their gills help them to breathe. Before you know it, there's a change. Look what has changed. Our little tadpole now has 2 hind legs. He still has to stay in the water. He still needs to breathe through his gills, but his little mouth has gotten just a little bit wider, and his eyes are getting up a little higher on his head. He'll need that when he's an adult. Well, before long, he keeps growing, and now look what has happened. Our little baby frog is a froglet. He's not a tadpole anymore. He's got front legs and hind legs. His tail is starting to get a little bit smaller, and his mouth is getting a little bit bigger. And you know what else? He's growing lungs. And see on the top of him, he's got some spots. That's to help him hide, because pretty soon when his lungs are developed, he's going to be able to come out of the water, and he wants to be able to hide from predators. Well, he's not full grown yet, but he's getting there. Do you notice that the frog's tail has gotten much shorter? His eyes are up near the top of his head, so when he's in the water and he's hiding, he'll be able to see. And you know what? He doesn't stay underwater anymore. His lungs are all developed, so he can swim for long periods of time, but he comes out of the water to breathe. That's what amphibians do, and a frog is an amphibian. It starts as a water creature with lungs, with gills, and then he gets his lungs, and he can come out of the water. Now, he's almost an adult. Remember the adult frog? What happens when he becomes an adult? You got it. He lays eggs, or she lays eggs. And then the eggs hatch, and they grow the hind legs, and then they grow their front legs, and then the tail gets smaller, and they grow their lungs, and before you know it, they are an adult, and the adult lays eggs. It's a cycle. It keeps happening and happening, and that's what our book today is about, life cycles. So we're going to look at the first page. You can just look at your screen and follow it with me. What life cycle do you think this page will be about? Remember, good readers look at the pictures for clues because there are a lot of words on this page. Boys and girls, I don't expect you to read this. But you know what? If someone helps you the first time, you're going to notice that every page is predictable. That means some of the words are the same. So let's look at it together. Chickens begin their life as an egg. The eggs hatch and become chicks. They do begin their life as an egg, don't they? Oh, what life cycle now? Yes, frogs. So I bet the word frog's going to be in there. What letter are we looking for frog? Got to find that F. Hey, look at the very first word begins with an F. Frog. Oh, but there's an S. Frogs. Frogs. Frogs begin their life as an egg. Hey, it said that on the other page. See how it repeats? Frogs begin their life as an egg. The eggs hatch and become tadpoles. On the chicken page, it said, the eggs hatch and become chicks. See how it's the same? Part of your brain is going to remember it and part of you will read it, but you have to touch it. So what's this one? Caterpillar and the butterfly. So if this word starts with a B, what word do you think it might be? Butterflies begin their life as an egg. Little tiny ones. We'll talk about that next week. The eggs hatch and become caterpillars. See how each page is the same? Ooh, what do you think we're talking about on this page? Looks like a spider. And if this word starts with S, what do you think? Spiders, there's those words again, begin their life as an egg. Good. The eggs, you remembered, hatch and become baby spiders. And now what? Yeah, it's a turtle. Turtles too. Turtles begin their life as an egg. The eggs hatch and become turtle hatchlings. Now, parents, you notice how I'm trying to show them that there is a predictor in this book. And one thing you can do is you could read the eggs, see if they can look at it and fill it in. If your child is doing this and not looking at the book, they're not reading, okay? Even if they're remembering the words but touching them as they say them, that is another step toward being an actual reader. Now, new families, I want to tell you what my rules are about these books. It is always my hope that children will color them. But if they color the cover and they do a beautiful job and they don't want to color the rest, my suggestion is to let it be. I would like the work they do to be good work. If there's something in here, they want to just do the frog page and they do it very well, that's wonderful. I don't like one color and scribbling. Let them pick a piece of it that they want to do. Now, I have some children that color every book and they do a beautiful job, and that's always okay. But if your child just wants to read them and to save them, I would rather they didn't scribble on them. I would rather they only colored the parts they liked. And some kids will go in and say, gee, on this page, I'm going to color the butterfly. On this page, I think I will just color the leaf. That's okay too. My focus is that when they color and they use their fine motor skills, that they do the best job they can. Okay, so that's what we're encouraging here. Another thing that I encourage My children that I started the year with, they're all my children now, have a list of all the sight words. I'm not sure if Mrs. Osmer gave you these or not, but I just typed them up for a parent, and I'm happy to send you, I can't give them to you, but I can send you a list of the sight words. Like all the ones we learned in October are orange. The ones we did in November are purple. And what I challenge the children to do, they all have a highlighter, but you could just use any yellow marker. They all have a highlighter in their kit, which I can't find right now. And they go through and they'll say, oh, and that's a sight word, and they will highlight it with the marker. Or the is a sight word, and they highlight it so that I know they're looking closely at words. If you want to pick just one word, the, and have your child go through and find the word the as many times as they can, that's great. I have to stop. I'm a little long-winded today. Enjoy your book, boys and girls. I'll see you soon.